And see, you can see my shelf from there. I'll have to work on that. Actually, I just have to clean my shelf up. You can see my living clutter. You can see my pipe, my juicy fruit, and my overfilled ashtray that needs to unfilled, and all that fun kind of stuff. Now, I am coming off of my concussion. Now, normally I would have been alive one or two times, but I had the concussion stream if you're a subscriber to this channel, and I was pretty messed up in the head that day. And I'm feeling better now. There was a couple nights I was going to do some streams, but no fucking way. I mean, that swelling started coming down in my head, and I kept thinking, well, I'll stream, and then, what are you doing, hon? Are you getting into my stuff? Summer's the only kitty with us here at the moment. I got the rest of them shut out, and she's just investigating everything. I've got this set up a little different, so I don't know what's gotten into my cat's head. Summer, what are you doing, honey? Are you being a stupid kitty? You're a stupid kitty. I've got you kind of set up higher than I normally would. And my kitty's here being silly. Let me get Chad up. Hello, K3. Well, I'm doing much better. I mean, from where I got that concussion, man, I mean, I have been messed up in the head. I have missed a good part of this month. I don't even know how many days ago I got the concussion. I could probably go back on my channel and figure it out. But I've been asleep about 2/3 of the time. It's like today. We had a gorgeous day. I missed it. I was totally unconscious. I mean, I slept last night. I got up in the morning. I made a good meal. I was on YouTube like 2 hours, just viewing and modding in a chat. And then I was right back asleep until almost dark. So that's why this is an overnight stream, because this is basically my day for me. Hello, Kelly. Yes, this is Summer. She's the other cats I have. She's the mother. And she's my constant companion. And she's my little princess. You're a horrible bird, aren't you? Where the other cats kind of just live here on the farm, she's my actual pet, as you can tell. And she wants all the attention now. She says, if we're doing YouTube, I'm getting attention first. I like pancakes and waffles. You're right, okay. I like waffles, too. Don't we? Now, I don't get to have them because the only store I get to eat at or get to buy groceries from is Dollar General. And it's 12:30 here. Our Dollar General opens up at 8 o'clock. So, in about 7 hours, I can go to the store. And there, I will get my kitty some stuff. Yes, I will. I'll get my kitty some stuff. Because I always get my kitty some stuff. And I want some soda pop. Yes. Now, I cut out soda pop because it got too expensive. But it's been weeks since I've had any. And I've been drinking tea. And I have one drink of tea left. Now, I have all the spring water that I could possibly want. But I don't possibly want it. I want something with some taste. Hello, Linda. Hello, Rise Above. But yes, I'm just going to hang out with everyone tonight. And as I said, I'm coming off my concussion. I had planned 2 lives before this. Well, really the last 2 days, and canceled them because by the time that this time of night came around, my head hurt so bad I couldn't stand it. And I'm not going to be very fun or very entertaining. Now, the interesting thing about this live is I have you guys hooked up to a power pack. So we are going to be able to go live longer than we normally would. And this is kind of what this live is all about for me, is checking out this setup, my camera angles, get my camera angles down, and see how long this battery pack will last, not all the way up. So, that's an interesting thing, because with this battery pack, I may be, if I can get signal out in the woods, I may be able to do some outside IRL this spring. And I thought that would be entertaining for people. I am in Kentucky, the middle of Kentucky. I am also in the middle of nowhere, which is why I was kind of mentioning, I've got my live set up a little different because I have you guys on a battery pack, and I need to know how long this battery pack has a minimum of lasting for, because I want to plan some IRL content out here in the middle of nowhere. And as long as I get signal, I can do that on my other device. Even though this one has better camera and sound quality, which is fucking hilarious, because we are running YouTube in this live on a $30 burner phone from 7 years ago that is a 3G. But it gives better sound quality than this iPhone 11. How they had that old saying is they don't make them like they used to? And it is kind of funny because there's some things on YouTube that I can do with this this old shitty little burner phone that these more expensive devices cannot replicate. Well, gee, Ray, you're kind of in trouble then, because that would be your battery. Considering my battery is sitting right here. And it's pretty close to full. I've just been using it as a light for a few days. Because, as I said, I live out here on a farm all by myself. And this is the light that I walk around with after dark. Also, and it's also the battery pack that I can hook onto my belt. And it's also solar powered. So, once again, this is the perfect thing to use for a IRL live stream. Now, normally the phone has almost 3 hours of power in it, but with this right here, there's a good chance that I could go till dawn. It all kind of depends on how much power I used out of that. Hell, I've been unconscious the better part of the month, dude. If you subscribe to the channel, you will see my last live was Concussion Live. I got a concussion earlier this month, and I've been sleeping 2/3 of the time most of the month. I slept last night. I got up for 2 hours. I modded a live stream. I smoked a bowl. I made dinner that from the day before, had a meal, and then I passed out all day till evening. So, this right now for me is like noon. Oh, I'm sure it's not withdrawal because I don't do any drugs other than smoke marijuana. And I only smoke marijuana because I have seizures. And I have seizures because, well, my body wants to. Well, Richard, I had a seizure. Yes. And I fell down and I went boom. And my head went BAM! Yes. And that's how I got a concussion. Because with my condition and having seizures, about once every 6 months on average, I have a life-threatening accident. And that's just the way life is. Well, thank you, Richard. Now, once again, I don't mind legitimate questions because, I'm going to be going over a lot of ground because new people are coming into the channel and I'm meeting new people. And I'm an interesting personality. Now, this channel, I do drama shit. But I basically do have a channel that will do content that everyone will like. I just use this as the hub because this is the largest channel. I tell stories, science fiction stories, and fantasy stories on one channel. I have a wargaming channel that I've just, well, I started about a year ago, but it's not really taken off. It's only got 30 subscribers. Then I even have a political real world channel, and I laugh my fucking head off because, I mean, I can talk about important events, and it'll get like 95 views because YouTube basically suppresses any voice they don't want heard. But, I mean, I can put up a kitty fucking video and it get 1,300 views. Or I think my last live here, my concussion live, I think I got like 5,900 views. But I mean, you can talk real serious shit and get absolutely 0 views. I don't have a mod here. Well, gee, Ray, I have 1/3 of my teeth. Just saying. Now, once again, I can tell you a meaningless story to you as why. You see, when I was a young child, my gut hurt. And I had a bad gallbladder. And I would say, Mommy, my belly hurts. Because, you know, if your gut's hurting right here, you know, as a little kid, you're going to say, Mommy, my belly hurts. And Mommy would take the back of her hand and hit me across the face and tell me that you just don't want to go to school. Well, in reality, my gut hurt. And I had a bad gallbladder. And then at 16, of course, 11 years later, it was even worse. And I was having full-blown gallbladder attacks. And every morning, I threw up again and again and again and again. Then when I went to the doctor, they said nothing's wrong with your gallbladder. And they put me on Xanax instead. Which I didn't need Xanax, I needed my gallbladder out. And then no doctor would ever countermand what the first doctor said. So for years and years and years and years, 27 years in fact, I had a septic organ in me that needed out, and every morning I puked my fucking guts out. And that's why I only have 1/3 of my teeth. Now, does anybody else have any other stupid questions that they wish me to address? Well, spamming my chat just gets you hit, by the way. And attacking people in my chat, that just gets you hit too. It is easy and hard here to get banned at the same time. Because you see, I make no money off YouTube. Despite the subscribers number on this channel, it is not monetized. YouTube doesn't even like my content. They rarely, if ever, have an ad on my channel. Although, if you go to my other channels, none of them have 1,000 subscribers. But there's ads up and down them left and right because YouTube likes to monetize the things that I do on those channels. YouTube hates this channel. In fact, I'm quite well known in many communities. Well, Linda, you know, it was a hard life, but, you know, I grew up I was born in 1968. So, you know, I was 10 in 1978. So I'll just go off on an interesting tangent for a moment. Now, as a 10-year-old, you know, in 1978, we had a situation much like we do now. We had an unpopular president that inflation went nuts on, and they're basically tried to tell us everything was okay. Now, I remember this as a 10-year-old. And I remember the election night when I was 12. And Carter was sent packing. Now, up 3 days up to the election, the media was trying to tell everyone, it's neck and neck. And But 3 days before the election, they found out they couldn't lie anymore. And then they worried about their credibility. So that's when magically, now if they go and look at history, they say Reagan made a comeback. No, it's just because no one liked Carter all along. People were sick of everything going through the fucking roof, which is nothing compared to what we've had in the last 4 years. They just fudged the numbers. Well, hold on, everyone. Evidently, Summer does not like me to talk economics. Do you, honey? Summer does not like me talking economics. Does she? No, she doesn't. Yes. My tramp. Oh, but now, for those that didn't know it, I guess it's been, well, damn, I guess it was a week before the concussion. Summer ran out on me. And Summer is a tramp. Let's just get this straight out. My cat is a slut. She ran right out under my feet. I'm 1 foot behind her. She runs from me. You know this cat that you see all over me all the time? No, 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 no. Not when she was in heat. She's like, no, 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 mommy wants to come. And the first thing she did was run to the back of the house where 2 old ferals hang out that are no relation to her. And then she basically grabbed both of them, ran at them, displayed, and then ran under the house with them as quick as she could before I could get her. Now, both of those ferals had a turn on her, and I had to sit outside on the ground for like 5 hours. I was a pissed kitty owner, and I sat there and didn't move for 5 hours, being the great white hunter. And finally she ran out from under the house behind me, and I grabbed her real quick and gave her a stern talking to. Yes, on the way back to the house. So, you know, I have gave the ferals their own name after Lord of the Rings. One of them is Celeborn. Celeborn is a Manx. He has no tail just like she does. The other one is Sauron. So, if she's pregnant, it's one of the two. But since she's a Manx and he's a Manx, that means if it's Celeborn, the litter will have no tails. And if half of them have tails, then it means Sauron will be the father. So, that's my kitty drama. You know, my big goal in life is to have no more kittens here. But my Summer's a slut. The other cats, they'll get knocked up if there's an opportunity, and I just make sure there's no opportunity. Summer, however, when she gets in heat, she tries to get out, and she tries to get her a boyfriend. You trampy kitty, you. Hello, Steve. No, lucky I'm not. I actually leave those there to troll another YouTuber. I do. Yep. You have found out my secret. I also, when I start doing YouTube, I put on this shirt. This was the shirt I was wearing. Now, once again, she tries to hate me, but yes, this was the shirt I was wearing right before the stream, but I put this one on for the stream just to annoy another YouTuber. And when I'm done with this stream, I'll take this shirt off and I'll hang it right over here until the next time I do a stream. And then she'll do videos, he's wore the same shirt for 11 days. Because nobody gives a shit even if I did, and she destroys her channel. So, yeah. That's why there's cobwebs, and that's why you'll see me repeatedly wear the same shirt over and over again. I am a professional troll. Well, the 2 ferals, one of them is golden white. And that's Celeborn, the one with no tail. and she's orange and white. So, once again, if he's the daddy, they'll probably be almost all orange and white with no tails. And Sauron is black and white. So, if he's daddy, they'll probably come out all sorts of colors. But yes, out here on the farm, I have a little feral colony, and it's funny, people's like, he's got 50 or 100 cats. I've got like 15, and one of them is going to a Amish dairy to live. And now that Amish dairy, they have about 120 cats on there. And that's why they're getting one of my males. Because that cat colony they have is inbred as hell. And another thing that they try to, his cats are inbred. I have one inbred cat. Now, I admit I have one cat that an uncle ended up nailing a niece. And that's the extent of inbred cats at my house. Now, of course, if you listen to other people on YouTube, I've got 100 cats, and they're all inbred. Which is not true. So once again, these people are I just do shit to troll the fuck out of them. Yes, they're a Manx. They came from the Isle of Man. And if you look, Shimmer has no tail. She has a butt. Yes, she has absolutely, positively no tail. Now, unfortunately, if your cat is less than hygienic, sometimes you gotta wipe some stuff. And you also, before you cook, you have to wipe counters down. You know, when your cat has no tail. That's the only drawback to them not having a tail. But the fun thing is their tail is never in your way, and you never step on a cat tail. No, I didn't stool a tail. Well, Dave's a sad, sad, sad creature that really wants to be somebody, but never will be. I mean, I could do the big YouTuber thing, or I can do the small YouTuber thing. And it doesn't matter. I mean, I don't do this for notoriety. I just do this for my greedy ass cat. What do you got? What do you got? This is my tea, which I was going to take a drink of because, you know, I smoked a bowl before I started this, and I'm pretty thirsty. She's like, what do you got? What do you got? What do you got? You know what she wants me to do? She wants me to give her a can of food. Now, she knows that. I gave her 2 cans of food today, which is what she gets. But my cat cannot tell time, and it's not tomorrow yet. It's not daylight. And somewhere around dawn, I'll give her another can of food, and we'll start the 2 cans a day over and over again. But right now my kitty's like, I want you to give me. She's a tiny cat. Yeah, she's a tiny cat. I mean, she's itty bitty. As a matter of fact, she's getting there. She's a little bit past middle age now. She's my 3rd oldest cat. But no, you shouldn't overfeed your animals. You know, what you doing, honey? She says, oh, give me more, give me more. Oh, yeah, I do too. But this cat, she protests. We give the cat what she wants, otherwise she won't eat. You know, that's one of her little idiosyncrasies. She also won't eat with the other cats. She believes she's above them. And she has to have her own food in her own spots to be fed. She does not wish to associate with those people, even though most of those people are her children and grandchildren. She does not like them. She does not like them on a plane. She does not like them on a train. Right, honey. She cannot stand her children. She hates her children. She despises her children, and she refuses to eat with the peasants. Well, good for you, Happy Turtle. Just saying. Now, the funny thing is anybody thinks you didn't get to see what someone just said. It was fairly offensive. But I mean, they think if they're going to shock me. I mean, I grew up in the 1970s and the 1980s. I mean, it's like the guy in the Air Force that set himself on fire. I'm like, wow. How stupid can you be to think that anyone's going to care? When TV used to be a different thing. When I was a little kid, I saw the Vietnamese guy burn himself on live TV. And, I mean, because back then they would show that kind of thing. And I remember being a little kid watching the guy burn himself to death. And you know what? It changed nothing. Zero. And, oh, we got a mousey in our housey and Summer's going to go get it. But that's why I think it was funny that guy immolated himself. You know, this Gen Z guy immolates himself thinking it's going to change anything. All it did was make a news day. Well, actually, Lucky, you see, the boy kitties, they live outside. The girl kitties that I'm worried about getting pregnant, they live inside. Now, when it gets hot this summer, they all go outside. In fact, to make things affordable, I go outside. I mean, you guys, if you subscribe, many of my lives during the day are going to be outside in a beautiful land. Excuse me. In fact, my next live within the next 48 hours will probably be outside because the weather is going to turn really nice. Oh yeah. Today is going to be 70 degrees and sunny. Tomorrow is going to be 72 and partly cloudy. Now, Friday is going to be 75 and a chance of rain. So, yeah, maybe even since it's going to be Friday, it's going to be rain. Sometime, maybe even late today. Now, probably tomorrow, I'll have an outdoor live. I mean, things are going to be really nice. I'm going to go to the store this morning, so I won't have to. So, yeah. Yeah, tomorrow I will probably have an outside live. Well, look, we've got Justice for Matt Laban here. That's Philip Greenwald, everyone. And Philip Greenwald was the next Chris Chan, but his mommy took him off the internet, and he's not going to be famous now. Well, this world, I live on a 20-acre farm. There is no one around me. The next farm over, it just has horses on it. The farm over there, it just has horses on it too. The farm behind me, all it's got on it is horses too. I am the only human being for quite some distance. My driveway is also a 1/4 mile long. Yep. You know, but once again, if you subscribe, you'll see all of this during a live. Now, I do, as I mentioned that earlier for the people that stayed since the start, that I was only up today for a couple hours and modded a live stream. This is Truthfully Trisha. And I was modding for her chat. I also put her on my screensaver just to troll another YouTuber. She is truthfully Trisha. She is a vlogger with over 50,000 subscribers. Many times you'll find her flipping up on the lives also. Now, I normally mod her stream. She does multiple streams a day, so that usually leaves me a lot of modding. And that's one reason why I tend to like to do my lives after dark. For one, I went through the lives a little while ago, and I'm like, oh my god, this shit is so fucking boring. Why don't I go live myself and entertain the people a little bit with my dumbassery? Actually, Philip, Trisha got, get this, Philip, a couple days ago, Trisha got 115,000 views on her blog. She is going to be an up-and-coming famous YouTuber. And through this system, she's got a whole lot of new friends. She has completely revitalized her channel. You know, I'm going away from drama content on this channel. Otherwise, I would be talking about stupid people you have no idea of. I am just building a new audience, and we're going to do fun shit that you're going to like. Well, yes, we're friends. We've never met. Now, she does plan on visiting me. Now, I got sucked. I tell this story again and again, and for those that hear it, I apologize. But with the turnover in crowd, there's just going to be a certain set stories and certain facts I am going to have to repeat ad nauseum. But I live near a massive YouTuber named Amberlynn Reed. She's over 600 pounds, and her channel is over 150,000 subscribers. She hates my guts. And I used to cover her on YouTube because people asked me to, because living near her, I could debunk her lies. You know, I was kind of sucked into doing YouTube. What didn't turn into a bad thing. Now, I do have interesting adventures. And now, last May, we almost had a gunfight here. I covered another YouTuber on his channel is called The Stand. And he's Jimbo Collins. And he used to be a professional wrestler and promoter named Country Boy Jimbo Collins. And when he was almost an adult, he married a 12-year-old. And I called him out for it. And he and I had a YouTube back and forth. And he showed up here with a gun last May. And he found out that I had a gun. And then he took off and fled. And he called the cops too, because I was planning on removing him from my planet. Just saying. So now I get more legitimate death threats than anybody else on the platform. Now, I'm not sure if I want to play it now, but if you sit here long enough, you will see a parade of psychos that many of them try to have me killed or gaslight things to have me killed. Now, where I live in Kentucky, I am immune from bullshit. I own my own farm. No one's calling a boss on me. My family is all dead. Nobody's bothering a family member. I live 8 miles outside of pizza range. No one can even call me in a pizza. My cops also do not SWAT. You know, Amberlynn's crowd called the cops thousands and thousands and thousands of times on me. The cops, unless you're at my neighbor's house, the cops are never going to come. And if they do, they're going to send one guy, like they did when me and Jimbo Collins almost had a gunfight. And then I told the nice policeman exactly what happened, and then he wished to talk to Mr. Collins. And Mr. Collins has never made himself available for questioning. Just saying. Matt, no I didn't. I bought this farm. This farm was never a part of my family. Just saying. The farm down the street was. And that went to my mother. And she lost the family farm to the nursing home. Yes. Now, once again, the justice for Matt Laib, you know, the only woman he ever had was his mother. And then he found Matt Laib, and they were a beautiful couple. But, you know, Matt Laib left him for Playmate Tessie. And he's, remember I said, guys, this is a drama channel? You know, and once again, I'm trying to entertain you guys, but as I said, the drama will find me along with the slander. My mother's been dead for over a decade. In fact, this October, she'll have been dead 13 years. As I said earlier in chat, my entire family is dead. There's not anything that anyone on YouTube can do to me. No, I am not crazy. I am not according to the professionals anyway. Ah, sad. I mean, the first thing that when my therapist said, Roger, you are not a psychopath, I looked right at her and I said, you know, you're really fucking up a good defense. And she laughed. No, I wasn't kidding when I told her that. But now officially I do have paper that says I am completely sane. Unfortunately. I mean, that paper can come back to bite me at my ass at this point in so many ways. I mean, but it is what it is. I'm sane and I can't get out of it. Yeah, I'm getting cat talk to. All right, let's display. Let's display for YouTube. Display for YouTube. There you go. It says fuck YouTube. Are you saying fuck YouTube, honey? She says, just give me the can of food and I'll go away. She says, just open the can, sit it down, and back away. That's what you're saying, too. Yes, I speak, cat. And yes, she says, open the can, thumb, you know, sit it down, and back away. And no one will get hurt. Ah, you thought I was giving you something. Nope. Now, once again, am I evil? Now, we're going to debate this point. What would evil do? Would evil do a live stream to entertain you in the middle of the night? Unmonetized. I think if I was evil, I would have my channel monetized. Yes, I do. Prove me wrong. No, I did not accuse your family of being generations of incest. Other people did that. And I just alluded, I had no evidence to the contrary to that fact. But you're the one that kept dating your mother, dude. I mean, you're like almost 30 years old and going on dates with your mother. I mean, by the time I was 12, I didn't want in the same room to be seen with my mother. True story. And what I'm smoking tonight is very good, by the way. Now, once again, Philip, you're never going to, Philip, you're like almost 30 years old now. Now, you're never going to score, Philip. See, he can score with maybe Matt Laib, and Philip wants to score with a girl but he's never going to score. Now, there's a couple communities in YouTube that virtually have me and Truthfully Trisha almost married. Yes, at this point, Trisha and I are even joking about getting married. Just saying. Now, once again, hello, Dragon Mama. Well, I'm just having an entertaining time and enjoying new people, and I'm also here to annoy Philip. I'm going to do some IRL, and I'm testing my battery pack. So I kind of get a baseline on how much time I'm going to have for an IRL live, so I can kind of schedule my events around it. Because one thing that I'm going to do this week, I am going to build a wood fire pizza oven. I have to find the stones, and I've got a thing of cement in the barn, and I am going to make myself, in the backyard, a wood fire pizza oven. And that's one of the reasons why I'm testing the battery pack tonight. Because if I can get, a decent enough time on the live, I'm thinking about doing it live. And letting you guys watch me build the wood fire pizza oven from the ground up out of the materials. What I'll probably do is get all the materials to do it, and then I'll set up the live and then start building it on camera. But yes, that's one of the methods behind tonight's madness of the long live. Well, actually, Lou, yes, she did. She did get into a fight with Sniper Wolf. Now, where you're calling her an old lady, Sniper Wolf is like 32. Sniper Wolf is only like 14 years difference between Trisha and Sniper Wolf. Sniper Wolf filters herself to where she doesn't look like herself. If you take those filters off of Sniper Wolf, she is a 30-some-year-old woman. She looks like a fucking mom. And she pretends actually like she's still a 17-year-old girl when that Sniper Wolf was gone a long time ago. And the only thing you got now is Catfish Wolf. Now, I know some large YouTubers. I can hang out with Omegon. And all of the large YouTubers, if the subject of Sniper Wolf comes out, everyone's like this. Because all she does now is react to TikTok videos for clicks, catfish herself, and try to pretend like she's still a teenager. When, as I said, she is a middle-aged mom at this point, and only 14 years difference between her and Trisha. Now, Philip, you were an inspiration. Now, once again, justice for Matt Labe. Anybody here know of IP2? I'm sure some of you do, and I'm sure some of you watch IP2. And if you do, you know that the best clip channel is Papa Greeny. Well, I was involved in the creation of Papa Greeny. Now, justice for Matt Labe is Philip Greenwald. And he was the human being that inspired Papa Greeny to make Papa Greeny. This is Papa Greeny's wayward son in chat harassing me. Now, what Papa Greeny did, now I know who Papa Greeny originally was. And that secret will go to my grave with me. Because I'm that kind of guy. But yes, Philip Greenwald inspired Papa Greeny. And Papa Greeny progressed Philip Greenwald as his first icon. and he started the channel. And he started it with doing clips of Philip Greenwald. And at the time I was feuding with Philip Greenwald, and it made some of the most hilarious YouTube that ever was, even though much of it is now down the memory hole. Well, because I can. He's a public figure. I mean, he's the inspiration for a legend. Yes, I mean, Philip, or as we like to call him, Philip. Philip, you inspired a legend. I mean, you should live with that. That is your niche in our world, Philip. You inspired Papa Greeny. He is a large, popular entertainer now. And if it wasn't for you, he would just be another guy in the chat. But instead, he's got a bigger channel than I had. And I wish him all the well. And I support him however I can. Okay, Philip. All right, man. Now, Philip has said none of this is funny. I wasn't going to do this, Philip. I wasn't going to do this. Nope, I wasn't going to do it. Nope. I wasn't going to do it, but now I have to. Let's go to Papa Greeny's channel. Now, he hit a lot of it for you, Philip. Now, Shepard left with, here we go. Philip Greenwald wishes death on Playmate Tessie. A creator named Shepard posted this.
I'm gonna. Dear God, we ask thee right now to strike down Maya West. God, we ask thee to strike down this evil person. To strike down this person who wants to hurt innocent children. We ask thee to kill Maya West. I say these things in the name of thy son, whom Maya hates. Jesus Christ, amen. Jessica's prayed, so she's gotta be struck down. Mother Greenwald, you...
Yes, that is Philip Greenwald. That is Justice for Matt Labe in this chat, praying to Jesus for the death of Maya West, also known as Playmate Tessie.
After hearing what happened to my grandmother, how dare Mother Greenwood unique little boys' penises? Mother Greenwood, how dare you? Papa is not a legend.
Papa is a legend. Yes, Papa is a legend. Let's subscribe to Shepard. I want that on my list all the time. Oh shit, I love this one. Oh yeah, I like this one. Oh yeah, this is on the Papa Greeny Nation. Where's Roger Brown? Roger's new channel and some edits. And he's got Papa Greeny, has him and me, you know, cut right there, you know, side by side, ready to take on the Greenwald clan. Now, on that, he is just running me. You know, on this video, you know, we'll find just me. Because once again, he's a clip channel. And that was, you know, 2 years ago, you know, he clipped me. And like I say, you know, he and I are buds. And, you know, he could do anything he wanted. And I'm just going to smile. Papa is a legend. Well, Dwight, you stumbled on my life. Now, once again, remember I said this is normally a drama channel. In getting to know you people, I'm trying not... You know, it's like you don't pull out the three-headed cousin freaks, you know, when the guests first come over. You know, you wait till they've been over for a while and you're like, well, yeah, my cousin has 3 heads. I'm sorry, and they sit and argue all the time and they're assholes, but I mean, we're friends now, aren't we? But yes, I mean, that is just a sample of the insanity that I deal with on YouTube. You know the Chinese curse, may you live in interesting times. Well, everything for me is far more interesting than for you. Just saying. And that, per se, is not a good thing. From my point of view. But at least you get to laugh about it. It's a joke. Yes, you see, I also do comedy on YouTube. I also do a few different characters. I play a girl character named Verily Veronica. I play Grimgoth the Dark Elf. And I also play, well, I have his mask right here. I play Alfarius Cain, Horseman of the Apocalypse. Now, fortunately for me, to get into Alfarius character is pretty easy. I just have a black shirt, which I have on now. I put down my hair and just make it go like that, and, you know, just put on the damn mask. And then I put on my mask, and I become Alfarius Cain, Horseman of the Apocalypse, and absolutely batshit crazy. And yes, and that's another one of my characters. Because as I said, on my channels, I have many, you know, I do various things, and one of my channels is a comedy channel. Although, I have not worked on my comedy channel in a long time, and I really do need to get off my ass and do that. Which is my way of kicking myself in the ass right now. I'm giving myself a stern talking to, and you get to listen. Well, yes, Dwayne. You know, once again, it's a character. You know, I thought about war in essence. You know, and I created the character of Alfarius Cain. Once again, Cain was the first murderer. And I'm also buds with Omegon. Now, if you know anything about Warhammer 40k, you know they were twin Primarchs. Alfarius and Omegon. And that is why his first name is Alfarius. Because I've pinched it from Warhammer 40k. You know, that way it's actually a hidden joke. Because I'm friends with Omegon. And I am Alfarius. And if you know anything about Warhammer 40k, you understand what it means when you say, I am Alfarius. Now also, on another channel, I am going to play an Inquisitor character. And I am going to do Warhammer 40k content. I'm going to be Inquisitor Thanatos. And once again, this is going to be content I'm going to do on another one of my channels. Now, I also tell a story as a wizard named Thanatos Magus. And I have a story channel that I tell stories on. Once again, no drama content. But most people know me for my drama content because people are sick and sad. But I'm sure you already have figured that out yourself, Chad. So I basically use this live and this channel to coordinate between my channels. And as I mentioned, I'm going to start doing some IRL content, which is why I'm checking my battery pack today and seeing how long it'll go for on a minimum charge. So you know, that way I can plan content around it. So you know, that's kind of what I'm doing tonight, is I'm getting to know some people, just bullshitting, and I'm seeing how long my battery pack will last for. And I'm hoping it'll last for quite some time. Yes, those are cobwebs behind me. They're patrolling other YouTubers. Now, once again, this live I'm being fairly honest because I'm getting to know people. But there's a bunch of YouTubers that hate me. So I troll the shit out of them. So yes, I leave those cobwebs there just to annoy them. I also wear this shirt just to annoy them. Before this live, I was wearing this shirt. But because they like to say, he wears the same shirt day after day after day, I just keep this shirt hanging over here, and when I get ready to do YouTube, I put it on. And then they make videos about me saying, he's wore the same shirt for 11 days. And even if I did wear the same shirt for 11 days, nobody gives a fuck. So they destroy their own channels. So I am trolling them. And those are things that you will notice here if you like and subscribe. Well, I'm glad you hate my guts. No, I can take the shirt off. Just saying. Yep. Yes, I can take my shirt off. Actually, in reality, this is where I normally sit here with my shirt off. I mean, this is more comfortable for me. So, this is why that, so once again, I troll. Now, I enjoy my trolling. I'm here to get to know people and troll people at the same time. Now, you know what? That's where I should have my channel monetized. Now I'll put on the shirt I was wearing before. Because then in reality it was more comfortable. And if you wonder what it says Philabong. And as you can see, it has a pretty leafy on it. And it also has a pretty marijuana leaf on the back of the shirt too. Yep. And I guess this shirt's about 18 years old. And it's just as soft as you could imagine it being. From being an 18-year-old shirt. It's almost like silk. Now it is much more comfortable than this shirt. And I can throw that shirt right over there and wait until the next time I do YouTube. Well, you're welcome, Weston. Now, the funny thing is you're lucky I'm wearing pants. Just saying. Because many times here in the middle of the night, I will just have a shirt on, and I'll have the camera where you can't see it, and I'll be sitting here covered up in a comforter like up to here with like no pants on. Now, once again, my demographics of my channel were changing. Thank God. But at one time, about 85% of my subscribers were female. And if I took off my shirt, I got more views. I know it's a sick, sad world we live in, but that's just the way it is. Now, Wizards Coast. I'm going to make a guess that you played Dungeons and Dragons. Am I correct in this assumption? Because if I am correct in this assumption, I will have an interesting story or two to tell you. And considering this is a long live, I'm interested in telling stories. Now, on my shelf up here, I have a wonderful thing. Inside of this bound tomb is all the original D&D books. Yep. The original first edition Dungeons and Dragons. You can see the Advanced Dungeon Master Guide Volume 1. I've got what I did is I took all the original D&D books, I took them out of their binding, and I bound them into one book. So it starts with the Player's Handbook, goes to the Dungeon Master's Guide, then to the Monster Manual, the original Monster Manual, then to Deities and Demigods, the original one, with all the earthly gods. But yes, right here in one tome is all the original first edition Dungeons and Dragons core rule books. Because I am old enough that dates my generation. Well, I mean, okay, Philip, you want me to tell him how I threatened you? Philip, if you're ever in my presence, I'm going to whip your ass. I mean, there's certain absolutes in life, and if you're ever in my presence, I'm going to kick the shit out of you. I'm trying not to laugh as I say it, but I mean it, Philip. I mean, if you're ever in my presence, Philip, I'm going to bounce you like a ball. Yep. Just saying. Now, as you can see, chat, if I do say stuff, I will admit to it. Oh, yeah, I mean, you know, Philip, you see, in Kentucky and in the South, we got fighting word laws. And what you've said to me in the past long goes over those fighting word laws. So that means in my state, and in yours, by the way, because you're in Virginia, the great state of Virginia, they have fighting word laws too. And I would punt you, Philip. Yes, all the way back to your boyfriend, Matt. Now, an interesting thing is, Philip had a crush on Playmate Tessie. Now, I am also involved, you might say, with two YouTubers that have been on Dr. Phil. And one of them was Playmate Tessie, and the other is Truthfully Trisha. Now, I don't have a picture of Playmate Tessie, but there is a picture of Truthfully Trisha. And she is a YouTuber with over 50,000 subscribers on her channel. Well, Dwayne, I could. I mean, I do voice stuff. As I've mentioned, my character Grimgoth. Let me get a video up real quick. So I do voices. I wasn't planning on showing Grimgoth, so I didn't have it queued up. YouTube hated me on that search. Yeah, my little comedy channel, it's only got like 146 subscribers.
Hello, everyone. It is I, Grimgoth. Grimgoth, he's been wondering about your human holidays. I understand this Memorial Day. I understand this Labor Day. But this Christmas thing, it just absolutely is beyond me. I mean, you are trying to tell me that during the darkest, bleakest part of the year, you take your wealth, buy extravagant things, and then give to each other. Give? I mean, we don't even have that in our language as a dark elf. Now take, we have like
582 words for take. And about 64 for grab. And we got about 1,042 of your shit out of fucking luck. But this whole Christmas thing, you know, Grimgoth at this point, I think you guys are just trolling me. But until next time, it has been I, Grimgoth. And that is on my comedy channel. And that is my character, Grimgoth the Dark Elf. And that is his belief in the meaning of Christmas. He thinks you're just trolling him. And I do it on that channel. Huh. I hate spoon it. It was being problematic. Yes, that's the channel that I do that comedy on. Now, that is the channel that I have been neglecting, and I need to stop neglecting it. So I will be posting more, but many times I use that channel as a moderator, because once again, as Grimgoth the Dark Elf, I can make my own jokes in chat while I moderate with the account. So that way I can turn my moderator into an amusing character in my own chat. Now, truthfully, Trish, she does characters too on YouTube. And she and I have already talked about collabing. Now, I don't know when these collabs are going to happen. And I cannot see how my characters and hers can manage to merge. I mean, I have no idea, but it should be funny, put it that way. Well, Crystal, I have like a dozen channels. Now, once again, this one normally does drama. And I'm going to try to get away from the drama on this channel and mainly be a live streamer on this channel. I have one channel that I talk about real world stuff and nobody gives a shit. I have another channel I tell stories on. Now the Grimgoth one I do comedy on. And various things, usually other YouTubers. Some you may know, some you wouldn't know. But you know, once again, I intend on branching out with my comedy, and it's a part of, a kind of an attachment to the channel. Because every now and then, you will have a Grimgoth video here. Now see, once again, I normally, like in the last year, I've posted all of my Grimgoth stuff here. You know, about once every few months, I will drop a Grimgoth video on this channel, kind of as a channel exclusive. Well, thank you, John. You know, with how expensive things are, I only have the bigger overhead light on for YouTube. You know, just for your guys' convenience. But these only run like 40 watts. So, once again, when it gets dark, I just turn these on and keep the big overhead light on. And I only turn the big overhead light on if I'm cleaning and need to see what I'm doing, or I'm doing a live stream. Now these, right here, these are Halloween lights that I got at Dollar General. Now those, of course, are Christmas lights. But the Halloween lights are nice. Now at a distance, these green ones almost look black. I don't quite understand the physics behind it, but the further away you get these from the eyes, the darker they look. So like if they're over in the far corner, this will look black. Even though to me here, you know, it's obviously green. Now, I also have been Grace Thorpe's co-host And her father just went to jail, and she's doing some insane things on YouTube. And I'm going to have to go try to talk her down. You know, that's been kind of on my YouTube to-do list in the last 48 hours. It's just, I'm just coming off a concussion. And dealing with a 21-year-old girl when she's upset and doing psychotic things on YouTube. I'm about to say what some of the psychotic things are, but you wouldn't believe me. I mean, I was thought about saying it, but I don't believe me, and I saw it, so. So, you know, once again, I have a lot of YouTube adventures, but from where I have seizures, that's why I normally do not schedule lives or shit. And that's why my content sometimes is kind of spotty. Because if I'm having seizures bad, I tend to be off of YouTube. Now, I had a seizure yesterday. I had a seizure the day before. But I'm feeling pretty good and a lot better. Now, I do feel like somebody has run me over with a truck. But I'll feel better in a couple days from that. Well, yes, Ben is in jail. Or Jeil, as Rich Life would spell it. Now, an interesting thing is, I've made peace with most of the people that I covered. But there's been a couple that just never did turn friendly with me. Now, I mod for Truthfully Tricia. She and I are friends, and I used to cover her when she had bad behavior on the platform. Truthfully Tricia is her channel. She is a vlog channel with over 50,000 subscribers. And she is a middle-aged woman, and she's quite entertaining. And I have been helping her troll the internet for cash and fame. Now, there's a group of people that hate her on the internet, and she's winning. They try to complain at everything she does. Like, they attack me too, for just being her mod. Supposedly, I'm buying subscribers and views too. Now, Trisha's not buying subscribers and views. She is live streaming in this format, and her channel is taking off because she's pretty entertaining. And she has big tatas. Now, once again, I would probably get a whole lot more views, you know, if I had boobs out to here. Just saying. But these women, they begrudge her big tatas. And her big tatas are covered all legal-like. And anything that she's been wore on YouTube, she could go to Walmart in. So, she's not doing anything wrong. But if you listen to her, you know, she's like the Pied Piper of children. And these people will go into her chat and say, I'm 7, I'm 6. And all it is a bunch of old post-menopausal women on sock accounts pretending to be children so they can say, Truthfully Tricia needs off the platform. Yes, Gerald, that is the lady that works out on streams. And you see me as... Now, people will call me her main mod. I am not. I am just a mod. But you will see me on her channel on my Roger Brown the Walking Dude channel. And I am the one that is usually there doing the moderating on her chat. Now, the female mods, which the other mods are girls, I let them decide what offensive is. So if I'm the only mod in Truthfully Trish's chat, you know, there's a lot of things that will fly that won't when the girl mods come in. You know, and that's kind of funny too, because people go, you blocked me, you blocked me. And I'm thinking, no, I didn't. The girls blocked you. But of course, it's none of their business on who blocked them. But even though I get the blame for blocking most of the people on the chat, it's usually when the girls find something offensive, is when someone gets dinged. And Trisha unblocks everyone about every 48 to 72 hours. Well, yes, Ronnie. I mean, Trisha's working on herself. She's not the same person that she was years and years ago. I also found out the drugs the doctor had her on when she was acting out badly, and those were the same drugs that make me act badly. Now, for those that's been here the whole time, I had told you I had a bad gallbladder misdiagnosed, and they put me on Xanax. Xanax made me evil. Yes, you see, if you put me on a downer and give it to me more than 5 days, I turn into evil incarnate. So, I don't take pain pills. I just take aspirin. But, once again, from them having me on Xanax for years, everyone around me was in danger when I was on Xanax. And when Trisha was acting out badly, they had her on the same drugs that made me act out badly. Now, this is my personal theory, but I believe that the Seroquel and the Xanax is why, truthfully, Trisha used to act out badly. So, that's kind of the little story. Now, Philip, this is your turn. You're getting slow, Philip. Was your mom finding you on YouTube, dude? And cussing you out saying, "Get off YouTube, Philip!" Because this was your cue to say something for me to make fun of you. Philip, are you still here, man? You're missing your cues. Now, see, this is what sucks. I mean, you can't even get a good, dedicated hater anymore. Well, Ronnie, I mean, I'm also from, excuse me, I was going to say something else, but Philip just said his mother doesn't control you. Philip, your mother made you stop posting on YouTube. Evidently, your mother does control you. You have not posted on YouTube in over 2 years, and you deleted your channel. Evidently, your mother does control you, despite your living at home and about a 30-year-old man. How old are you now, Philip? Shouldn't you be about 30 years old now, Philip? Still sitting in the room you grew up in with your Shrek poster up there? God, we used to... Well, once again, where I say I admit when I go hard on something. When we found a Shrek poster in at the time he was 26. A Shrek poster in a 26-year-old man's room, we did not let Philip live that down. I mean, we made Shrek joke after Shrek joke, and God, some of them were pretty off color too. I was thinking about repeating one, but like, damn, that's pretty brutal. Actually, I wish I was chained up in a basement, just saying. I missed the basement. Yes, I moved out of the basement about 27 years ago. Matter of fact, in about 5 or 6 more months, I'll have been out of the basement half of my life. I miss that basement. Thank you, Atplace. I'm just trying not to laugh because Philip makes me laugh. Now, Philip is like my guilty pleasure. Not much on YouTube makes me generally laugh, but Philip makes me laugh. Yes, we did accuse your family of wearing Shrek costumes. And then we did allude that you were having sloppy Shrek love. Yes, let's put it that way. Of course, we did use the more harder terms for it. But yes. Now, once again, I wish to believe that this is true. So, just like the media wishes that Biden was not a potato, I am going to wish that yes, you were dressing in Shrek outfits with your family and engaging in incestuous acts with your sister. Now, one of the fun thing is now, chat, Philip doesn't have a sister. Now, we trolled Philip that Philip had a sister for months and months, almost a year. And every time Philip would deny having a sister, we would talk bad about him for being dismissive of her. Yes, every time that Philip would try to deny the existence of his sister, we would just take that as proof of her existence and how mean Philip was to his sister. And people would even make sock accounts of his sister and of his mother called Mother Greenwald. And once again, when we do these things, I will admit them. And I do believe that I did come up with the Shrek costume idea. But, you know, the inbreeding was kind of, you know, it was already there for Philip and Mom. Let's put it that way. Oh, shit. Hit the wrong button. Well, Lynn, subscribe on this channel, and you will find all of my channels on my community tab at various times. Now, once again, where I say I do a variety of content, that is kind of how I use this, because this channel has the most subscribers, and I will link shit on my tab. Now, let me see. And I've not done Grimgoth in a long time, so let's go ahead and do him right this minute. Where I have seizures, my hand trembles, and I have hit this wrong button like 5 times, but I'm not going to say a bad word. We'll put up the Magic of Christmas one. And I just linked the Grimgoth channel on the community tab on this channel. Now, I do have a tiny vlog channel, and that's the one that I just kind of don't put here and kind of just push other people to, because as I've mentioned, I have a lot of people that slander me on the platform, and I just generally don't let other people know about the tiny vlog channel. I mean, it's got less than 100 subscribers. Well, the big thing is just doing something you enjoy. Now, once again, you know, this is my biggest channel because of the drama community. Now, 3 months ago, I would have told you that most of my subscribers were human garbage. But I've been watching my demographic change now, and that is no longer the case. The good people on my channel now far outnumber the bad people on my channel. And I want to thank everyone for that now. Because, you know, the subscribers I did have, they were such mean drama individuals. I mean, they would get mad at me for not taking up a crusade to go unrighteously destroy someone. Because I do that on this platform. You know, I can be the great destroyer of channels. And if they're a bad person, many times I do that. I've been involved in quite a few conspiracies on YouTube. And the people that are bothering Truthfully Tricia, I'm busy destroying their channels. And this is what I do with most of my spare time. Whenever they say something out of line or far way over TOS, I'm there to hit that one out of the park. But see, what they do is they just spam report everything. So the algorithm ignores their reports. But me, I only report when it's a cherry. You know, when this is a slam dunk to take down. And that trains the algorithm to pay attention to me. See, these dumb women don't realize this. I mean, they'll report this stream over and over again, and it will do them no good. It will just be auto-flagged as spam, and it will be ignored. So that is something I do have to tell you, that if you really, really hate someone on YouTube, only report when it's a slam dunk violation. Otherwise, YouTube will train itself to ignore you. Well, I was always the black sheep of my family. Now, all my family is gone. Now, what I don't say is half of my family that are gone, I do not miss them in the least. I mean, not in the least. Now, the other half of my family was decent, and I do miss that they are not on this earth. But I mean, half of my family, the world is just better off without. Well, you're welcome. But you see, my channel has been so false flagged, YouTube just ignores it. Plus, there's another thing that I learned, Philip. I can say the most horrible thing against terms of service on YouTube if I sing it. Now, one thing that made me laugh, my last video on the Grimgoth the Dark Elf channel, there's a YouTuber called Sayla V Media, and she was being an obnoxious bitch, and I made a song for her, and I even sung it out of key, called Calm Your Tits, Sayla V. YouTube monetized it. Remember how I said YouTube hates this channel and monetizes nothing on it? I made a troll song saying severely against terms of service shit, and YouTube monetized it. And then I went like, for this made no sense. And that's when I realized, because of the rap songs, as long as you sing the evil thing on YouTube, it will not flag it. I'm going to... No, I better not. Once again, I would upset Philip. But yes, Philip, I was thinking about telling you about what would happen if Letitia was your mother. Now, for those that don't know who Letitia is, she's not on YouTube right now because she threatened to cube her baby if people didn't give her things. And I have to put it this way because you remember that terms of service thing I mentioned? Yes, she was literally threatening to cube her baby if she didn't get what she wanted. That got her in trouble eventually. Now, you would be surprised at how many ways that you can say you're going to do something horrible to your children on YouTube and get away with it. And that was a channel called Love Notes for TLC. And the YouTuber was Letitia Servans Collins, who was a maniac. And right now she's in the middle of a court case and she's off of YouTube. Now, on some of my lives, I'm going to show some of these interesting people. And Adonis Paul has multiple documentaries on Letitia Collins. And I will review them sometime on this channel on a late night live is something different. And your jaw will hit the floor. When I show you Melton John, your jaw will hit the floor. I have an entire laundry list of YouTube monsters that literally your jaws will hit the floor. But that'll just be fun content to surprise you with later. Take care, Crystal. Now, the last time Melton John was on YouTube, he threatened to cut my head off with a chainsaw. He also threatened to shoot my neighbors. Now, he threatened a cop, and that got put him into jail, and then he went to a mental institution. Now he's out of the mental institution, and he's living with his parents, we believe, and he's living with the ankle bracelet on, and not being allowed to be on YouTube. But once again, as soon as that ankle bracelet comes off, I'm sure he'll be right back on YouTube, threatening to decapitate me with a variety of items. Like I said, you know, I get more serious death threats on YouTube. Now, Melton John wants to be trans. But have you heard what's called of a trans trender? Someone that pretends they're trans, but they're really not. That is Melton John. And if you don't use female pronouns for him, he will threaten your life. And he looks in no way feminine in any way, shape, or form. So as soon as you look at him, your mind says, dude. Like I said, he's not real trans. I know some real trans YouTubers. In fact, you wouldn't know they weren't girls if I didn't tell you. But he is not one of them. And once again, he's also psychotic and schizophrenic. We're talking about Melton John. I'll write his chat name. That's one of his channels. And that's his other channel. And he is crazy. I mean, absolutely, positively, fucking-cotic. He also believes he's a wizard. Now, he doesn't have things to do wizard stuff with. He just does this. It makes faces at you and lights a candle. And says that he is hexing you. I'm not kidding. He's hexed me again and again and again and again. Now, I have a personal library. And including some of them are occult books. And one of the rare books that I have, which is not in this room or I would show you, is a Necronomicon, 3rd edition. Big, giant leatherback book. And I troll him on that internet with that. Where he will take his candle and cast spells at me. I'll take that big Necronomicon and I'll wave my fingers right back at him. So that is another petty trolling thing that I have done and am likely to do again. Just saying. Well, yes, Lynn, I mean, it's definitely insanity of the drama community, and that is what draws a lot of people to it. Now, unfortunately, it's mostly middle-aged women. And once upon a time, 85% of my subscribers were these middle-aged women, but they have been unsubscribing to the channel because I've not been playing their game. As I mentioned earlier in the live, none of my channels are monetized. That way, there's no financial incentive for me to clickbait. There's no financial incentive for me to shade. You know, I'm not going to do anything for money here because I don't make anything. Now, so during hard times, I would put up a wish list with mostly food on it. You know, not items. I would put food on it. And once again, if you guys want to do YouTube, this is what I recommend. Is what you do is you take some necessity items that you would have to buy anyway and put them on a wish list. And that way it frees up a few dollars when those things do come in off of a wish list. Well, take care, Lynn. Well, that's nice. You're on a 3G burner phone. And you know what? Its camera is better than this iPhone's. So whatever. Now, what you're seeing is lag. Now, why the camera is off, I can tell you right now. It's because I have this on a power pack and it's starting to get hot. And for me, this is the purpose of my live. Because I want to do IRL stuff. And I wanted to see what my quality was with this on. Why the video quality is being questionable right now is because you're getting hot. And unfortunately, that means I need to pull the plug and let that cool off. But no, my camera is not garbage. My device is overheating. But as I've mentioned before, so that means I've been alive just under 2 hours with the power pack, and I'm starting to get hot. So this is, once again, one of my purposes of this live was to do some IRL stuff, and I wanted to know what my time was. So if I'm at about 2 hours and this is getting hot, and that right here will have about 2.5 hours on it right now as of this minute. So that means I'm probably good for about 4 to 4.5 hours on an IRL. Now, unfortunately, that is not as long as I had hoped. Now, I am hoping, because you're up against a chair, so it's insulating heat. I'm hoping if I have this outside, that I may be able to get a full 8 hours in a live. Well, see, the thing is people should ask. You know, the thing is like, someone asks, is like, what? Because I hadn't noticed that the camera quality had went bad. You know, I'm focusing on you guys, you know, right here. And I hadn't noticed the quality had gone bad. But after he said it and I started looking down, yeah, it has. The quality's gotten bad. And I unplugged it, and I'll let this cool down as we're having our live. And the camera should fix itself at some point. So, you know, it is what it is. Now, once again, it's like shit. Because, as I said, oh well, I'll just have to, because as I had mentioned earlier in the live, I'm going to do something cool. On Instagram, I saw someone made a wood fire pizza oven. And I'm going to make one. I'm going to make it in my yard. And that was one of the things I was thinking about doing, was the whole purpose of the power pack, is because I want to do it all in one session out there and everyone see it from beginning to end. Well, Ronnie, it's going to be hotter outside when I'm doing this than the room is in here. So that means I got like 4.5 hours. Now, off battery power, I probably could have had an 8-hour live. But, you know, once again, you know, the device is getting hot. Now, in fact, I don't even have to. I don't have my normal prop. Now, you guys don't have to be there, because this spot is now only going to make you warmer. So I unplug this, and I set you where I normally do. Well, shit. This will not work. Nope, that will not work. So, what did I do with that? I normally have a big, large thingy that I set up here that's weighted, but evidently when I was picking up earlier, I must have moved it. We'll see if that works. But yes, usually I have you guys sit like right here. And you're not up against the back of the chair anymore. So that should help cool it down and help. Well, there is. There's lag in it. And there wasn't before. You know, when I started this, there was absolutely no lag in my picture at all. Because I checked that when I started the live, my camera quality. But yeah, it just gets hot. Because once again, now what I probably ought to do the next time is run it like this, and then when it gets down low, then hook up the battery pack. But the battery pack was what was making the device hot. But once again, I may even be able to build my pizza oven within 4.5 hours. Well, actually, I don't watch TV. Nope. Now, I am a fan of science fiction. I do write. Now, being a YouTuber for several years, many times I am used to being the show. Oddly enough. You know, Ernie Shell's program, I'll guest with him occasionally. He'll have 500 or 600 in chat. Now, I'll let you know on a tip too. You know, if you go onto a panel, always have 2 15-minute presentations that you can do on YouTube. And this is one of my rules. Have something that you know so well that you can just bullshit constantly without stop for 15 minutes about them. And have 2 of those ready, because now and then you'll go onto a panel and the host will have problems and he will get dropped. And, you know, once again, you know, I can go on a lot of larger programs, so you know there might be 500 or 600 people just sitting there. So once again, as a panel guest, you need to be the show for a little while. And this is one of the things that I can do on YouTube real well. But that is one of my tips for new YouTubers, or people that go on panels. Always have 2 15-minute talks that you can just go into on the drop of a hat. Well, the thing is I'm one of those old school that used to like Star Trek and Star Wars. They are dead to me now. Yes, because now when I was, once again, I was born in the 1960s. You know, I was 10 when Star Wars came out. You know, the first one. So I grew up with Star Wars. You know, like I say, you know, it came out when I was about 10. I got to see Star Wars in the theater. You know, its opening run. And all the movies. Now, by the time the 3rd movie came out, I could drive to the theater by then. You know, the first one came out, you know, when I was 10. By the time the 3rd one came out, I was driving myself to the theater. And once again, I grew up with Star Trek in the original series. And I got to watch all of the rest of it when it came out on first run. Well, the prequels were, you know, in hindsight, the prequels were good. Not great, but they were good. I would call them Star Wars movies. But 7, 8, and 9, those were just flat out abominations. Now, where I said I have seizures, I got to see 7 opening night in the theater. Because beforehand, I got to see all of the Star Wars movies opening night. So I wanted to continue that. So when The Force Awakens, you know, when 7 came out, I went there opening night. You know, I was having seizures at that time. I hadn't had my full diagnosis. But, you know, I was sitting there in there, and I was kind of sad. Because my seizures at the time were really bad. And I hadn't had brain scans yet. So, you know, it was looking like I had a brain tumor. It looked like I was going to die. Now, fortunately, I did not have a brain tumor, and I am not going to readily die. No promises, though. But yeah, I remember thinking how sad I was that I wasn't going to live to see 8 or 9. You see what 8 and 9 turned into. When I walked out of the 7, I'm like, this was basically just the original Star Wars redone in wokeness. But I thought, I'll give it a chance. And then we saw what happened in 8 and 9. So I walked out of 7 with question marks. Thinking, this, once again, I wasn't going to prejudge it. I was going to see where they went with it. And in 8 and 9, you saw what they went with it. And then after that, I could not watch Star Wars anymore. Now I am into Warhammer 40K. Now I am going to start doing some Warhammer 40K content on another channel. But yeah, in my science fiction, I have basically went from 2 things that I love that I grew up with, which was the point of my story, and they're kind of dead to me now, and I'm a Warhammer 40K fan. And I seem to line up a little more with the traitor Primarchs than the Imperium. I did not get to see The Mandalorian, so I cannot give a decent opinion about it. Now, once again, I am out here in the middle of nowhere. Right now, I have absolutely no outside signal other than that little Wi-Fi box over there. Oh, nothing. We're just chatting about I got asked about Star Wars because, science fiction used to be my thing. And Lord of the Rings style fantasy, used to be my kind of thing. Now, the funny thing is I look back now, and if I could go back in time, the stuff that I complained about the Lord of the Rings movie, if I could go back in time, I'd just tell myself, shut up. You have no idea what they're going to do to the other franchises. So, just shut up. And I mean, that's what I would tell past me. All the criticisms that I ever gave the Lord of the Rings movies, just don't. I mean, I think back at them like, wow, if that's all there was to complain about, I should have just kept my mouth shut. With what they did between Star Trek Discovery and what they did with 8 and 9 of the Star Wars movies. I mean, it's like, I should have never complained about any movie that anything they did before. Seriously. Oh yeah, but I mean, it's just the way it is. Now, there's a channel on YouTube called Flash Gets that uses 40K and makes fun of Star Wars now, and I do have to say that I'm kind of attached to that channel. That one little clip, they had a Space Marine getting rid of Rey. They had another one getting rid of Kylo on another video. I rather enjoyed it. Then they have a series going on right now, and it's what if certain of the traitor legions tried to join the Empire. And they are some really hilarious animations. And as a fan of all of them, I find it hilarious because I understand all of the lore. And the people that do that on the Flash Gets channel, they do that very well. Now, currently they're doing something on that channel called Space King. And it's a Warhammer 40K knockoff that they can get away with. Now, I do write. Now, I do have my own science fiction franchise. And I'll talk about that sub-night. I don't think we're going to get into it right here because it would be a giant divergence. But where I talk about where I have several channels, that's one thing that I am going to do rarely is I'm going to pick a channel, do an hour or two live, and talk about it. And that's just going to be rare occasions. In my story channel, that will be content for that live. And I play a wizard on that channel, and I tell stories. You know, like an old bard would. You know, I don't tell them like they're read from a book. I tell them like some old wizard is telling you the story of. And many people that like it. And it too is a tiny channel. It's got less than 200 subscribers. And I am doing content on that. Now, I'm 2 videos behind on that channel because of my head wound. But I'm feeling much better now. So that's one thing that I am going to do is in the middle of the night. Matter of fact, I might do that tonight. Shoot a video to or for that channel. Edit through them and then post them the next week. But yeah, I mean, the media, I had such hope for Marvel too. And then they bastardized the characters so badly. I mean, I wanted to buy all of the Marvel movies. Now I don't even care if I see them. Well, with the whole thing about the Trek, I was born in 1968, so we didn't have much on TV that was cool. And you got sick of Brady Bunch episodes on all of those old 1970s sitcoms. The one cool thing you had was Star Trek. So once again, being a young kid, we used to watch Star Trek over and over and over. Because I guess Star Trek, I think it ran from like 66 to 68. So it was canceled the year I was born. And then in 1972, when I was 4, that's when it started going into syndication. So, you know, back then, before Star Wars, that's all we had. We had Space 1999, which is hilarious. Because back in the 70s, that seemed futuristic. Excuse me. And Space 1999 was supposed to be about a moon base on the moon in the year 1999. And that was it. You know, before we ended up with Star Wars, that's all there was on TV science fiction. Now, you had, like on Saturdays, they would have the 1930s Flash Gordon serials. You know, from the old black and white films. And they would cut those into episodes. And they would be like Saturday afternoon events. You know, something for the parents to sit the kid in front of the TV where they could then drink beer. Well, good morning, Classic. It's 2:22 here in Kentucky. Now, I mentioned Truthfully Trisha earlier, and Classic Computers is also a mod for Truthfully Trisha. So, you know, we have an entertaining time blocking the hell out of people. Now, these are regular Christmas lights, and these are Halloween lights. You can see they're green, they're purple, and they're orange. But yes, these are Halloween lights, and these are Christmas lights. But they only run about 40 watts of power. So, when this live is over, that's the only light I run. Now, just for cuteness, I'm going to show you what they look like with the light off. Now you can see why I have the overhead light on. Now this light is enough to make a glow in this room to where you can see what you're doing. You just can't see to read a book. But you can see why for the live I have the overhead light on. And this room is warm enough that I do not need the heater on anymore. And it also means, since I turned the heater off, I do not have to talk as loud. Because I have learned on YouTube that when I have the heater on, I need to raise my voice a little bit. But yes, it's 2:23 in Kentucky. And apparently I hit my camera. Like I said, this is normally hitting my normal prop that I have for my live stream. Okay, that'll work. I made it a little hot in here. It's getting warmer in Kentucky. Yes. Yes, all of these are LEDs. Now, these are colored Christmas lights, but they too are LED. So they make no heat. So you know that's nice for me here. Because that was one of the reasons why I picked these lights. Because when it's summer, I don't want to make any more heat in here than I have to. I am in southern Kentucky. Yep. Now and then you'll even see my address spammed in chat. Like it's supposed to bother me or something. Just a moment. Where I have seizures, I have to smoke pot for them. And I've been having seizures lately. And now, once again, where I have seizures, I normally do not smoke weed on YouTube, but if I've been having seizures, you will see me hit a pipe every now and then, just like I did. Yes, I can. Your name is Paisley Anderson. Well, this world, most of the time, yeah. About 95%, I'll start to get kind of hazy first, and I'll start mixing up, and I'll start feeling a little loopy in the head. Now, about 5% of the time, I'll just, 1, 2, 3, seizure! And that's about 1 in 20. And I had one of those earlier this month while I was doing my laundry. And I fell and I busted my head. And that's why I've not been doing lives. Now, the last 2 nights, I started to do this live. But it got late, and then my head would start hurting from the concussion. What was happening is my brain was unswelling. And for 2 days, as soon as it got evening, I just get the mother of all headaches. Now today, I do not. Today, I feel pretty good. And where I've been basically down for over a week with a concussion, you know, my place got a wreck, and that's what I did today. I've been cleaning my place up, and I thought I'd hang out with you guys, and after the live, that's what I'm going to do is go back and do housework. Just a minute, everyone. As I get older, I get more allergic to my cats. Speaking of which, I don't even know where she went. Just a second, everyone. I'm going to check on my kitty. You coming in? There's Richella. Wait, you're not the droid I was looking for. Well, I guess I'll leave the door open for you. Well, we got Richella come and visit us. I was looking for her mother, but this is Richella. Richella has a tail because her father had a tail. Despite the fact that Summer, the one that was here earlier, does not have a tail. And here comes another one. And this is Zorabelle. And she is Richella's baby. So this is Mommy. And this is Baby. Mommy hates Baby, by the way. I don't do math. Just saying. Yes, I don't do math. Now, once again, there's plenty of it in the country. Excuse me, honey. No, we're getting flooded with kitty cats. You're getting tailed. Now, remember when I said it's kind of convenient when cats don't have a tail? Because the tails don't get in the way? See, this is the case. Once again, this cat has a tail and its tail's in the way. Well, thank you, Doughboy. And hopefully I will. Honey, sweetie. She's demanding attention. You getting your attention now? You getting your attention fix in? And she's the granddaughter of the one that started the stream. And like I say, I keep the girls inside the house, and I keep the boys outside of the house. Although every now and then, we'll have a ninja get in or a ninja get out. Can I go back to you two, honey? She says no. They're like 7-Up. They never had tails. But Rachella's father had a tail. And so that when Rachella has a tail, and this baby has a tail. Okay, here's another asshole. Come here, asshole. Come here, problem child. Remember I said earlier in the live that people would accuse saying, his cats are inbred, and I said, I have one inbred cat. She just ran by. Well, I was going to pick her up and show you, but she decided she wanted on the blanket. Now, I could make a bed where I'm sitting. Remember I say sometimes I'll do a live here with no pants? I got my blankets up there, so she just hopped up on my blanket, so she's not going to visit us. Oh, yeah, they're good at it. I mean, they are. I mean, I've been real good at keeping them separated. But around the beginning, I think it was March 2nd, Summer got out on me, and I'm just hoping it didn't take. But the first thing she did was find her a boy and run under the house with me chasing behind her. Well, Steve, it's not kind of by choice. Matter of fact, I can tell the cat story at some time. It's because I can't have no way to get to the vet, and I've had a cat that's been a ninja dick. Yep. But once again, I'll do a stream sometime and entitle it Cats, and I'll tell nothing but fucking cat stories. Once again, if I do like 2 streams kind of close together, I'll make a odd stream. You know, when I do the next one, and it's kind of a thing that I do. I'll pick a topic of some kind and stick to the topic. You know, that way, that live is going to be different than the other lives that had been recent. And that's another one of my YouTuber tricks. So like I say, you know, when I'm doing more lives, but my last crowd did like live streams. So, I mean, I could do live streams every day to every other day, although I do prefer every 3rd day, personally. Well, Edward, everything's serious here. It's just we don't take it all seriously. Just saying. Yes. Matter of fact, I can trace this kitty's lineage. Her father was a wild feral. Her mother was Rachella. Rachella's mother is Summer. Yep. Edna, honey, say Summer's your mommy. Now, Summer, she came from Nowheresville. I had no cat pregnant, and I ended up with a kitten on my property. And none of my animals had been pregnant. So Summer is not related to anything here that she didn't have. You can call me Daddy. In fact, Grace Thorpe calls me King Roger. She does too. And she demands that I call her Princess. Sounds real bad, doesn't it? But yes, it is a fact. I mean, as long as it's not an obscenity, anyone can kind of call me what they want. And I do plead guilty to being an asshole. Now, it's kind of fun when I do content and I'm reviewing someone being negative about me. If they say, he's an asshole, I say, yes. Or I plead guilty. Or I'll say, he has a point there. Now, this one is 10 months old. Richella is 2 years old. Summer's about 8 years old. 7 or 8 years old. The thing is my mission is to entertain you. Yes, because I don't make money on these channels. What are you doing, honey? What? What is it? I gotta get kisses, everyone. Are we done? Can I get more kisses and be done with this? Oh, God, thank you for the kisses. Them with some good kisses, Zora. Oh, good kisses. Good kisses, Zora. Sometimes she demands kisses. You guys are just getting to see this. Now, I would have made this into a short. It's just she does this when she wants. Do you done with your kisses? Are you finished with kisses? Or no. She's got to kind of wind down on the kisses. You happy with the kisses? Oh, good kisses. You're a good Carol. You're a good girl. And as you can see, she's a lovely kitty. And also, I'm a bit allergic to them. And right now, I cannot breathe. Now this, remember I said I've got like 14 kitties. And one of them is inbred. This is the inbred one. Her mother got nailed by her uncle. And she's the only one of the litter that I have. And this is my one little inbred kitty. And she is a Manx also. And she has no tail. She would be Richella's niece. And she would be this one's cousin. And this is my one little inbred kitty. Her name is Scarlet. And I call her Scarlet Witch. And she claws badly, which is why I'm holding her the way I am. You don't cast spells for them? Usually she's kneading with her fingers all the time. But she's not tonight. She's not casting her spells. Evidently she likes chat. But yes, this is the one inbred cat that I do have, Scarlet. And I tell her, frankly, my dear Scarlet, I do not give a damn. Don't I? That's what I tell you, don't I, Scarlet? I tell Scarlet I don't give a damn. And as you can see, she completely trusts me. Can we stitch up here, honey? There we go. Well, actually, DG, you can go somewhere else, man. I don't smoke meth, and you can go. You got hit by Grimgoth the Dark Elf. Like I say, I'm pretty tolerant here. But you're not going to badger me. You're just going to get blocked. I'm a professional YouTuber. I'm from a community called the bottom of YouTube. And no troll that can come into this chat will even hold caliber to the shit that goes on in the bottom of YouTube as a community. I mean, it's not like anyone can say anything here that's going to upset me. They will just get themselves blocked. And you will notice that that's a feature of this channel. That it's hard to get blocked and it's easy all at the same time. It all depends on which way you slide in. Well, actually, Dwayne, you see, I wasn't always allergic to them. Now, a part of my family line, the matriarch of my family that is long passed, she got more allergic to everything as she got older. And I, too, am getting allergic to everything. And as I age, I will gradually get more allergic to everything in the universe. Yep. And that's just the way that my life is. I've managed to get the same gene for that. Oh yeah, but see, the thing is on the farm, you have to have them. I mean, it's like here, I would be overran with mice and mice shit everywhere if I didn't have the cats. It's much easier to dig dirt and put out a litter box, just saying, than to have to go to try and kill all of the mice. Now, once again, these girls in here, they are real good mice hunters. The boys, they are good bird hunters. But birds don't get in the house, mice do. Actually, Luke, later. Now, technically, I am a grandpa. Yep. Now, I'm not 56 years old yet, but I have 3 grandchildren. Because I had a daughter at 16 years old. Because, I mean, the 80s are much more fun than you have now. You may have the internet, but we had a whole lot more fun in 1980 than you do now. Just saying. Well, take care, Scarlett. Oh, yeah, I mean, my boys are good bird hunters. The girls, they're good mice hunters. And I've got 1 mouse in the house that I found out today. He must have just come in, and he'll be dead by the time I wake up. You know, when I take my next sleep, there will be a dead mouse in my house. Because summer's also here, and I guess there's just the 4 girls in the house. Well, thank you, Booga. But, you know, I live out here in Kentucky in a fairly secluded area. Now, I do hope with the weather, my next live will be during the day and outside. And with a battery pack, I can probably go about 4 hours. Oh, no, Eric. Oh, no. No. She will bring me a bit. My kitty loves me. And she will let me know that she got it. And there'll be about that much of the mouse that will be it'll either be by my shoes or next to my bed. You know, and now next to the bed does suck because, you know, you wake up some morning and you wake up and you're like, something's wet. And then you look down and, you know, there's a piece of a body there and your foot's right on it, and that's kind of an unpleasant experience. But my cat does it because my cat loves me. And she wants me to have all the proper nutrition. Just saying. Like I say, now, when it's time to laugh at me, I will laugh at me. I mean, there's shit that happens here that sometimes is worthy of ha-haing at me. And when it does, I will be more than happy to laugh along with it. Because I am not a reality denier. Oh, honey, here's Scarlet again. You don't cast some spells to the ground? Most of the girls, I can do this with them. I can train a cat to do about anything. Except this one. Now, she will train to do this. There's some things she will train to do, but I can't train her to do anything. And she will sit and knead endlessly. You see his little paws moving? And she puts her claws in you and does this endlessly. And this is why I trained her to do this. So rather than her have her claws, I can sit and hold the cat, and she can get her freak on and claw at the air. Well, I have ran with the club. No, it's not a bestiality channel, and I will help you to the fucking door. Just saying. It's just saying, because, once again, as I said, it's easy and hard to get blocked here all at the same time. Well, the Iron Horse people. Now, we gotta be PC now, so we can't call them the Iron Horsemen anymore. They have to be the Iron Horse people. Now, my uncle was a member of the Brotherhood, and I also ran with a little group called the River Rats in Cincinnati. So there you go. Answers your question. And I used to sell a lot of marijuana. In fact, you remember when Luke Skywalker told Han Solo, "More treasure than you could possibly imagine"? I sold more weed in my lifetime than you can possibly imagine. Just saying. Well, no, actually, I lived in Cincinnati. Once again, where people want to say certain insults about me is, I was not born in Kentucky. I was born in Cincinnati, Ohio. And I lived there until I was 28 years old. And then I bought a farm. Because, not being an idiot, I understood that our government was going to ruin things, hyperflate the economy to where you could not afford to eat. Now, all of this has happened in record time. So, I bought a farm and I got the hell out of the city. And my bills went down. And I can make my own food. And if you subscribe to the channel, you can see where I cut up Bambi in October. Bambi looked at me funny, so, Bambi had to go, because we weren't having no deer look at us funny, and then we ate Bambi in record time. My God, was Bambi ever good. I'm just having a moment to remember eating Bambi. Like I said, eating Bambi was really, really good. Just saying. Go out there with a big knife and just get as much meat as you needed. I was making like deer steaks, barbecue, and deer stew all at the same time. All on different burners. Because, there's things like the deer stew and that, you can freeze it. So like I say, when I killed that deer, I had like 3 meals going at the same time, and 2 of them I would be freezing. Well, thank you, Dwayne. Well, I appreciate that, but you have to understand that this is the internet, and I get so many flippant comments that I do have to ask. Now, most of the time, I could have joined the Iron Horsemen if I wanted to, but I didn't want to. Because, you see, I'm not into taking orders. I'm the kind of guy that's giving orders rather than taking orders. And they also had nothing they could offer me, and I had everything that I could offer them. Because when I lived in Cincinnati, I could get you anything in the universe that you wanted. Now, once again, we'll talk shop for a minute. Now, what I was doing, I got the super good weed. And most people would not deal with people of color. Well, I was not one of these people, and I would deal with the nice people of color. And I used to bring them a quality of weed that they could get nowhere else. Well, this ran me into a fellow, a nice fine young black gentleman, that could get unlimited amounts of opium. Now, the fact that I then could trade my good weed to this young black gentleman for as much opium as I ever wanted, I was then taking that to the Iron Horseman, who was really, 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 really happy to be able to get as much opium as they wanted. And this is Roger in my 20s on how I made my bread. Yes, this is how I made my bread when I was in my 20s. They say, son, how do you make your bread? I'm a businessman, God. Because that's what we would say rather than saying I am a drug dealer. Now, once again, where I could get anything literally, what they would do is on Friday, one of them would phone me in a list. And I would just start checking down what they wanted. I'd make myself a list. I would start making calls. And then Friday night, about 8:40, I would roll into the clubhouse in Loveland, bearing gifts. And that's about all I had to do to live, when I was in my 20s. That one run basically paid for my life, and all of the rest of that I made was bonus to save for this farm. So, that's, once again, how I used to make my bread. Now, all of my friends are drug dealers. Now, this means they're pretty busy guys. They're not the guys that just can stop over and chat because they're busy doing their thing all of the time. And the only drug that I do now is I smoke marijuana for my seizures. And I get it at a rate that you cannot imagine. Put it that way. And I get it as the quality of the best dispensaries for a fraction of what you pay. Well, good luck with the FBI. Now, I call the FBI finger butt investigations. And once again, where I troll on YouTube, when anyone says FBI, I ask them, are you calling finger butt investigations? Yep. Because once again, they have this fun thing called statute of limitations. And the statute of limitations have passed on all my crimes. Yep. So I can say whatever I want, whenever I want, whenever I feel like it, and there's not a damn thing the law enforcement can do about it. Yep. And I enjoy that fact. Oh, here I do my drink. I forgot my water. Because I am now in my mid-50s. I'm not in my mid-20s. That was about 30 years ago. Well, duh, Philip. I mean, you don't pay attention? I mean, you're just figuring that out now? I mean, Philip, this is a revelation for you, isn't it? You see, when I was a 15-year-old person, I was extraordinarily smart. And the adult criminals in the neighborhood noticed that I could keep my mouth shut. I was very intelligent and could do about anything. So, I mean, it is what it is. Moving my chair a little bit. I'm being lazy and recentering you. Just saying. My bowl fell off. But I caught it. Shows I'm not high enough. But yes, Philip. I used to be involved in organized crime. Because the thing is, getting involved in disorganized crime is absolutely positively stupid. Just saying. Yes, this is a tent. That's not, yes, it's marijuana. Philip. I used to make $5,000 a week in the 1990s. Cash. You know, I would make $5,000 a week in cash during the 1990s. That was back when $5,000 was a lot of money. You know, that was back when, you know, you could get a value menu for $3. Now, a little fun fact. Now, when we're talking about when I was a young buck and getting into the world of crime, in 1983, a 2-liter of Coke was 35 cents. Minimum wage was just about to go to $3.35. You could go and get a Whopper or a Big Mac for 85 cents. In reality, the $3.35 would be like making $35 an hour now in what you could buy for it. And that's the world that they brought us. And this is why I sold all that weed. Was so I could buy this farm so when the government crashed everything, I wouldn't starve. Now, my neighbor is going to plow my field for me, and I'm going to put out a massive garden this year. Yes, I am. And I'm going to kill Bambi again. It's just, this time I want to get Bambi's mother. Is Bambi's mother's bigger? Now, this cat too ate Bambi. Didn't you, honey? You was a Bambi-eating motherfucker. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Oh, you're the Bambi-eating motherfucker. And she's 10 months old. And she's a big baby. I just told you, the only thing I do now is I smoke weed for my seizures. Yep. Now, I do have to say that if they have a riot in Cincinnati, I might go commit a crime or two. Just saying. Won't we, honey? Yes. Yes. If they have a big riot in Cincinnati, I might go commit a felony or two. But unless there's a big riot in Cincinnati, I don't plan on going and committing any felonies. And I'm trying to think what I'd do with the 1,200-pound pumpkin. Ow, you're eating me. Kitty's eating me. What are you eating me for? What are you eating me? Yeah, I'm trying to think. I wonder how many pumpkin seeds would be in a pumpkin that big. Because, yeah, if I had a pumpkin that big, I'd definitely have to get every seed out of it and roast them. Yep. Yeah, I would have to make... I'm just trying to think of a pumpkin that big on how many seeds that would be in it. I just can't even imagine. But Dwayne, I don't care. I mean, this is the fun thing. It's beyond statute of limitations. Statute of limitations is 7 years. It is 2024. That means any crime before this date on 2017, it doesn't matter. You can talk about whatever crime you want to as long as it's past the statute of limitations. And there's absolutely no crime that they can charge me with. Yep. So there you go. Hey, I can talk to whoever I want. You see, I am a popular dude. Yes. I'm also a smart dude. And I don't bring it to the channel because it pisses the people off to no end. And they go, ree! But I have a genius fucking IQ. And despite my criminal history, I have no criminal record. I have been falsely arrested twice because they were gonna get me. And as my own lawyer, I beat it both times. So you know that is what it is. Now how I beat it both times is I made sure to piss off the cop as much as possible so he would make up as much as he could because it would give me avenues to attack. And he did. I was guilty for having a half bag of weed in my pocket that I bought for someone else because I wasn't even smoking weed at the time, and I had a light out on my car. These were the two crimes that I was... So he planted drugs, and he made up a whole bunch of other stuff, sent it up like 14 charges, because he was going to put me away forever. But because he made up all of that bullshit, it was no problem for me just to knock it all fucking out in court. Because I have a genius IQ, and he's a stupid fucking pig. With an ego problem. So he loses his job, and I am declared not guilty, Your Honor. And I still to this day have no criminal record, and I legally have a pistol sitting right over there. Well, you see, Dwayne, we're in a different land. For you, a jail is a dark, scary place. This is Kentucky. I go into jail. I know people in jail. You know, if you took me down to holding right now in jail, there's probably someone in holding I know. If not, everyone in holding knows someone that I know. Remember, I know all of the drug dealers. So, to me, if I get arrested, I'm just going to get a social interaction. It is what it is. I am also going to not get in any trouble. For more reasons. Well, CJW, like I said, this is a different place. This is Kentucky. I am a Kentuckian. I know everyone in jail. And if not, they know people I know. I mean, both false arrests, I had a nice time. I mean, I got to meet some new people and got to talk about some mutual friends, and we both got to make fun of them, and it was a good time. It's basically like camping. You see, once again, you may be the entertainment in jail, but for me, jail is kind of like an indoor sleepover. So, you know, like I said, I have a good time in jail. Now, if you were to get arrested and put in the same jail here, you would find it a dark and scary place. Yes, you would not be happy. They would kick the living crap out of you. Now, I've told this on other lives because, you know, letting you new people figure out a little of my life. You heard of the old Hatfield and McCoy feud. Well, the descendants of the McCoys, they live a mile down the road. Yep, the real McCoys. And the entire neighborhood is afraid of the McCoys. Now, the fun fact is, the McCoys are afraid of me. So yes, everything here is afraid of me. And I have such a nice personality. But yep, so like I say, you know, for me, a jail is no problem. It's a social outing. For you, it's a dark, scary place. Yeah, you know Dean. Well, we all know Dean. Well, Dean, yeah. I can tell you a lot of stories about Dean. Now, the thing that I will tell you is, have you seen Dean's brain scan? I have seen Dean McCoy's brain scan. His mommy showed me. This side of his head, it's all black. When he was a teenager and a kid, he huffed gas. And he literally destroyed the entire right half of his brain. In effect, his logic and reason centers. And that's why Dean McCoy gets a check. Now, Dean also does stupid things. Now, when I walked to the store a couple weeks ago, he shot the sign as I was walking down the road. You see, Dean may be a nutbag, and he may have a damaged brain, but he's only going to shoot what he hits at. He was trying to make me jump. And it didn't make me jump. I just heard the bullet hit the sign next to me and thought, fucking Dean. And continued walking to the store. So yes, once again, the chatter does know one that I speak of, Dean McCoy, and that was my most recent encounter with him, is yes, he shot the sign that far from my head. Because he damaged the reason centers of his brain, and Dean thought it was funny, and he doesn't understand that you shouldn't be shooting guns next to people's heads. Once again, this is not going to stop Dean. You know, you could tell Dean 1,000 times the reason why, and he's still going to do it again. Yes, it is night. It is 3:05 a.m. Well, actually, the only relationship right now the McCoys have is with a meth pipe. Just saying. I mean, I'm like one of the only people around here that's not addicted or over 80. You know, as I mentioned, the farms next to me, they have animals on them, but no people. Which is kind of cool for me, because I will kind of watch over them, so it gives me a lot more land to range. Yeah, I do know the number. And it's Granny McCoy's number, as she pays for the line. And everybody else on the property, they leech off of that line. Because Granny McCoy pays for everything, and the rest of them just sit around on drugs. So there you go. No classic, I do not. Now, the other person that is local to me, and I do not know them, but the McCoys do, is Turtle Man. You know, Turtle Man of TV fame. He's local to me. I do not know him, but the McCoys do know him. That's where I said it's like around here. If you don't know someone, you know, you usually are one person away from them. You just have to know the person that you're close to. That's why I say it's like, you know, here, jail's nothing. I mean, I've never been in a court case that was not fixed in my favor before it started. Welcome to Kentucky. Corruption is a wonderful thing. Actually, Dwayne, not fake affiliation to anything. Now, once again, as I said earlier, it's easy and hard to get banned here at the same time. So there you go. Now, Mason, no, I do not drink. The last time I drank was 2012 because I was trying to get into a girl's pants. And before that, it was probably another 10 or 12 years before I had a drink. Now, used to be I drank quite heavily. Now, we ended up getting the battery warning, so we'll be having to go here in a little bit. Because I'm not going to hook the battery pack back up to it. Actually, Strange, no. No, on that one I did fail. Now, it turns out that it was probably a good thing because I have a habit of putting my dick in crazy too much. Yes, and that now one of the lives is going to be coming up, a topical one. I'm going to talk about my last 3 girlfriends. You see, since I've been a YouTuber, I've gotten 3 girlfriends off of YouTube. It was kind of like the 3 little bears of insanity. You remember how the porridge was like 3 different temperatures? You know, the little bears was cold and the mama bears was medium and, you know, the daddy bears is just way too hot. You know, they were like that with crazy. You know, one was unbelievably, totally fucking insane. The second one was kind of half insane. Now, the other ones seemed to be mostly sane, but of course, none of it worked out because there was a commonality. They were not 100% sane, any of them. Welcome to the internet. And that will be a topic on one of my upcoming lives. And you remember now and then I'm like, I will make fun of me occasionally. On that live, I heavily will be on the bad end of that one, let's put it that way. You know, cat. And the cat has come to lay on my arm. So, that's the way it is. Well, this is a cat. This is a brain-on cat. This is a 10-month-old kitty cat. Show them how cute you are. Look at them. Just look at them. Have you ever seen anything cuter than that? Stare at them. Show them your cuteness. Are you completely overwhelmed by the cuteness yet? Well, thank you, Parker. I usually go live about every few days. I am going to be live more because during certain times of the year, it's advantageous for me to live. And as I mentioned earlier, usually my lives will be earlier in the day, and many times they will be during the day and outside. And looking at the weather, in 3 days, it's going to be raining here. So either tomorrow or the next day, probably the next day. Well, actually, it should be today. I forgot. It's 3 a.m. So I will either be alive late this afternoon outside or the day after. I forgot, you know, the whole time zone thing. I forgot. We've already switched days. Well, actually, be more. I do YouTube for free. I monetize none of my channels because that way you get me unfiltered. I will never have a monetary reason to, to cater to anyone's opinion. So, like I say, I do YouTube for free, despite the fact that I could have this channel monetized. Actually, Classic, I didn't even know about that one. Nope. Anyway, I mean, I've been in, my stint of jail is Rockcastle County Holding, where I got falsely arrested twice. I was in for 1 night and 1 night. I mean, actually the second time was hours. I mean, I got arrested, I was in holding for like 3 hours and out. And the first one where me and the cop about got into it, you know, I got arrested like 9 o'clock on a Sunday evening, and I was out by 10:30 the next day after seeing the judge on Monday. So, I mean, I've been in jail for like 2 times in 15 and a half hours. You know, between the 2 of them. Actually, Travis, World War III already started. And it started in 2014. Just like World War II started in 1933 when Japan attacked in China. That is actually when World War II started. Now, once again, the Germans didn't attack until 1939, and that's when we realized that we got a world war here. And this is the same thing. You know, in history, they will say it started in 2014, but we don't recognize it as a world war yet. But we will, because it's all up to one stupid person. You know, you or I don't control it, but someone not connected to reality does. And that is why we will have World War III. Well, they do, Classic. And that's why I keep saying that Paula's a Mexican when she's not. Just because it upsets Paula. Because Paula slanders me, so I will say something that will upset Paula's Rudy Poo candy ass. Now, we'll have a live talking about their slander soon, but I'll probably not do this one in vertical. You know, I'll do that one in horizontal, where, you know, only subscribers will see it, and we'll talk about those evil Herodins. Now, I am about out of power on this device, so will actually be more. Now that I'm going to have to hold off on, because you see, where I live was destroyed with the open border, because we're a filter area. You know, to where things go to the northeast through us. Immigration destroyed where I lived in the 1990s. And now everybody else gets a piece of it now. But I will talk about all of that on another live. Now, I have a channel called Roger Brown, the Walking Dude. And on that channel, I do real-life topics like what you just asked. Now, once again, it doesn't get many views because people aren't interested in real life. But the real life stuff, I try to keep to that channel. And I try to keep the rest of my channels fun. Now, once again, I'll advertise my other channels on my community tab here. And if you're interested in it, you will find it on the community tab. Now, everyone, thank you for coming. And I do need to get out of here before this device goes completely dead. And I will see you within the next 48 hours. And it was good to meet some new people. I appreciate those that liked and subscribed. And I even appreciate the ones that got themselves blocked because they made themselves momentary entertainment. Now, thank you for coming. I'll see you soon and have a good day.